the only thing I don't like about this place. What's up, guys? It is Friday, October 4th, 2024. We're at the Bitcoin block height of 864,187. TikTok, next block. I am at the VA clinic here in North Las Vegas. This place is like the G.I. Joe compound, man. I love it. But that guy out in front of that picture, in front of the vestibule in that picture. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. But hope you guys are ready for the weekend. I had to get some records in here real quick. And it's not too bad, not too hot today. And I wanted to talk to you about a few things in this video. Hopefully I don't go on a freaking rant. This is one of those videos where I don't have anything to talk about, and when I do that, I start to unleash. So let me take a deep breath and calm down. I went down the rabbit hole yesterday of okay, let me calm down. Of what happened in the with Hurricane Helena, and I'm seeing some very disturbing stuff, man. I feel like I'm watching an episode of G.I. Joe. Okay, here's what I mean. I was born in the 70s. I'm an 80s baby. Grew up in the 80s. Born 1975, Generation X. And we were the, what's that generation called? Where they dropped the key under the mat, or you had a key in your book bag and we just came home and took care of ourselves. I mean, our generation is different. It's built different, let's just say, than the ones we're dealing with now. And my favorite TV shows, man, on a weekly basis, were Transformers, He-Man. I liked Thundercats a little bit. Voltron, and G.I. Joe, man. I used to love that show, man. Love G.I. Joe, Transformers. Those two are my favorite. I love He-Man too. And I got my grandson right now, who's getting ready to be 3 next month. And I got him watching He-Man. Because He-Man's a real man. Excuse me 1 second. Let me put this stuff in the car. 1 second. And, you know, He-Man is a real man, you know. Never figure out how nobody figured out that Adam was He-Man, but whatever. They're all looking like bodybuilders, these guys. Anyways, but the reason I say I feel like I'm watching an episode of G.I. Joe. Now, mind you, I had a little cousin, and we used to always play with the toys. Transformers is the main toys, and G.I. Joes are the main toys. And I would always be G.I. Joe toys, and with Transformers, I always be the Autobots. And my cousin would be, you know, the opposite. He'd be the Decepticons, and he'd be Cobra. And I'm not saying that says anything about our personalities, but maybe it does. I don't know. But reason why I say I feel like I'm watching an episode of G.I. Joe is because every episode, Cobra Commander was trying to take over the world, right? And I really believe that, man. I was really into that stuff. And I used to think Megatron was real, and he was trying to take over the world. And, you know, as you got older, you're like, oh, that's not real. That didn't happen. Well, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about this, a lot of rumors about this storm. And let's just say there's an episode in G.I. Joe that they had a weather maker, I will say. I can't say what I want to say on YouTube because, again, freedom of speech ain't free. Or free speech ain't free anymore. So I'll just leave it at that. And if that's the case, if that's true, and I've seen, again, you know, I've seen a lot of things on this, okay? And I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying there's a lot of people saying, and I heard a long time ago, I had a friend of mine who was a bit of a conspiracy theorist. This is before I got into the stuff with the scamdemic and everything else. And I just thought a lot of the stuff he was saying, oh, he's just the conspiracy theorist. Come to find out, a lot of things he was saying was true. And he used to tell me about these Cobra, let's just say weather machines. Hope that doesn't get me in trouble. I said Cobra weather machines. YouTube. And if that's true, man, that's And knowing what I know now about the scamdemic and the situation with our food and our money and everything else, do I put it past them, or what? Would I be surprised? No. No. Do I believe there's evil in this world? Very much so. Very much so. Do I believe there's dark forces in control of our quote-unquote government or elected officials? Yes, I do. That's what I believe, YouTube. It's free speech. That's what I believe. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you what I believe. And, the more and more stuff that you learn about and see in this world, the more and more you understand and know that there's a lot of evil in this world. And you got to choose your side. And it's so funny when you see this evil stuff. And I guess evil is from what perspective you're looking at. So let me give you my perspective. Anyone that doesn't believe in God, I'm not saying they're evil. I'm not saying they're evil. But I think because there are good people that don't believe in God. Okay, so let me say that first. There are, and there's other gods that people believe in, right? And there's some good people. There's people all over the world. There's all different kind of religions. But I'm talking about from an American standpoint. Everybody knows what our religion is here, and it's the most popular religion in the world, I believe, besides Buddhism, because there's more Asians than there are, English or American people. But for me, that's saying all that stuff. That's one of the criteria, and also too, children. Now let me calm down before I say this. I have people in my life, and I've actually probably not in my life anymore, that think it's okay to do certain things with children that I'm not okay with. Okay, I'm just not okay with it. Okay, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about here. Also, I'm not with homosexuality. Okay, now I'm not going to be one of those people say, oh, homosexuality is okay. I'm not here to judge, but I'm learning now that I come from a biblical standpoint, and not because I say it's wrong, it's because God says it's wrong. A man is not supposed to lay with another man. It's just what it is. And again, I'm not judging anybody, me personally, but that's what I go by. Okay, does it make you evil because you sleep with a same sex? Again, that's not for me to judge. And then also this country, right? There's other things too, but this country, the United States of America, if you don't put our country first, I put you on that list of people that are not the best people in the world. People that are liars, that are cheaters, and we're all liars and cheaters because we're all human beings, but to what extent do you do it at, right? And there's a lot of different points I can hit, but I think you guys understand where I'm coming from, okay? And if you look at G.I. Joe versus Cobra Commander, or Cobra, in my perspective, Cobra is evil, and G.I. Joe is good. And I believe the side that I'm on, let's just say, I'm on the side of G.I. Joe, okay? I'm on the side of G.I. Joe, if you know what I mean. That's my perspective, all right? Anyone that worships the bad guy down there obviously is evil. There are people out here that don't think that's evil. I do. And again, the more and more things that I'm learning, oh my goodness, there is so much evil out here. This stuff that's going on with Sean Puff Daddy Combs, my goodness, man, there's a lot of people going to be coming out later on in the next few months with this psyop, because I believe it's a psyop. I believe it's true. I believe personally that he did do a lot of these things. And I believe there's a lot of people out there in Hollywood and the entertainment industry as a whole, sports included, that are evil from my standpoint, and let's just say they don't have the same moral code that I have. Again, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from, because again, opinions are just like elbows. Everybody has one. And so you got to choose a side, right? And I've chosen my side. And I have people in my feeds, whether it's Facebook, down here in YouTube, X sometimes, telling me how wrong I am and this, that, and the third. And, you know, I don't want to come from an arrogant standpoint and say, oh, you just don't know better, this, that, and the third. I'm really trying to seek this information that I'm missing from these people, quote unquote, that I'm missing, they tell me. And everything that they tell me, and again, I come from a very humble standpoint, because I'm only one man. I'm just a guy. I'm not just a guy, man, you know? And I go, okay, what am I missing? And I ask them, let's debate, let's talk, what am I missing? And almost like clockwork, they all say the same things to me. What do they say? Trump's a racist. They'll call me a sellout or an Uncle Tom if I like him. Black people are victims. Kamala Harris is black. Immigration, asylum seekers are good. All these things that I just completely disagree with, respectfully. And I've come to realize that I'm probably not going to change these people's minds that are informed by a group that is similar to the example I said earlier, Cobra Commander. There's a man, and there's more than him, but there's a man with the initials GS. G as in Gary, S as in Sam, that everybody always talks about all the time. And you got to ask yourself, if he's buying 200 radio stations and he's control of all this and that, and he's buying up Democratic, a lot of things in the Democrat Party, a lot of Republicans too that are with him, in the Uniparty and the swamp and stuff like that. And then you find out that people like Sean Puff Daddy Combs and all these people that are always telling us to rock the vote and all this other stuff. Just ask yourself, whose side are they on? Are they on our side? I saw Puff Daddy telling me that I'm a victim. Black people suffer from racism. And mind you, he's sitting out in a beautiful, just a beautiful area. He's sitting, you know, he's talking to Charlemagne the devil, because he's no God, he's a devil, from my view. And he's sitting out here and he says, oh, you know, racism and Trump needs to be stopped and all this other stuff. And, you know, you got to ask yourself, does he really believe that? One thing I know Sean Puffy Combs is not stupid. That's one thing that guy ain't. And I'm telling you right now, if he is guilty of what he's been accused of doing, I don't feel sorry for him at all. But believe me, I don't think he's going to do a lot of jail time. But anyways, because I think he's going to tell a lot of people. But do I really believe that these race hustlers and these people like him and Charlemagne the devil and these race hustlers out here really believe what they're saying? No. They're too smart for that. And they're too rich for that. Because he said, I could be 10 times more better off if I wasn't held down by racism. This is a man, Sean Puff Daddy Combs and a lot of these other people, but him in particular, that everywhere he goes, he gets showered with adoration and love from whites, blacks, everything else. But you're a victim and you're oppressed. Again, what side are you on? Right? I'm on the side of God, family, country, and common sense, and goodness, and caring for others. And if you're sitting there telling me that I'm a victim and I'm here to help you, that's not caring for me. And you're telling a whole race of people that you're oppressed and the white man's keeping you down and this is what you need to do, aka be racist and consider yourself a victim and live off the government's teat, that's evil to me. It just is. And when you see this government, the lack of help that they're doing to our Americans here on our soil, with these states in peril right now, Florida, of course, Governor DeSantis has handled that, parts of Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, west part of North Carolina. When you see FEMA and Secretary Mayorkas, who in my personal opinion, should be in prison for life, not lose his job, he should be in prison. And that's for another video. Tell us that FEMA doesn't have the money, but you spent since 2022 or 2023, you spent over $1 billion on illegal immigrants. And then our government has funded Ukraine with almost $9 billion, Israel $8 billion, and the military to help defend Taiwan over $500 million. For you to tell us that in an emergency state, not somebody who's not working and living off the government teat and being, living off food stamps and all this other stuff, when an emergency happens, and for you to tell us that you don't have the money to help us. Again, what side are you on, man? It's just clear as day to me. But the problem is people are so brainwashed. How can you as an American citizen vote for this after everything that they've done to this country? Is because they tell people that this guy is the bad guy. That's all they tell them. And they just keep brainwashing them and brainwashing them in these news medias and outlets. Because again, when you sell your soul, in my personal opinion, because that's what they're doing, there's somebody's going to judge you for that. That won't be kind. And for you to sell your soul to be in a club, to go to the parties, to make the money and to be cool, meanwhile you're lying to millions and millions of people while they're getting decimated at the register, getting decimated buying gas, and now they're getting decimated by a once in a 20-something year storm, not worse than Katrina. Listen, I'm no fan of George Bush. Okay, I think he's one of the worst presidents ever. But this administration, the way George Bush took care of Katrina, which wasn't the best, by the way. Okay, I had a lot of bad things to say about him with that. He's making this administration, our president, is making George Bush look like George Washington in comparison. Again, he flew over because a lot of you guys are gonna say, oh, he flew over America in Air Force One. I know all that, guys. Okay, a lot of people, come at me saying that I'm stupid, I'm misinformed. Again, all I do is say, debate me then. Let's go at it and see who's stupid and see who's not caught up in the on the news and the information. And I'm not saying I am. I do it because I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm doing it because I want to get educated and let's see who's right. Because I don't think you're going to change my mind. I don't think I'm going to change yours. But maybe I can give you some seeds to help you plant some new information, and maybe you can do the same for me. But what this administration has done to this country, objectively speaking, and again, that's very hard to say based on what I've just said before and what side I'm on, based on just the facts of what's going on in this country, what they have done to the America that we've known for years and decades and a couple of centuries in 4 years, and what they've done to its people, and what they've done to their political opponent. It's never been seen before. We've never had an administration do what they're doing to their political opponent and at the same time the American people, and people are still lining up to vote for it. And I always say, I just don't get it, but I do get it. I do get it. Again, people don't pay attention. And when you have the media just doing this, man, just completely and utterly lying to everyone about everything and protecting that narrative. You ever noticed the fact checkers, right? They talk about fact checking this, fact checking that. You ever notice this never came up until people started actually telling the truth? Rewind that part. Why do we need somebody to fact check something? Why don't you just let the people figure it out if they're lying or not? Because they can't. Because they have to propagandize their stories, their lies, and their falsehoods to keep people brainwashed and dumb. So it's a sad day, but again, I'm an optimistic person. I believe totally that we're headed towards some bad times, and I'm scared to death. But despite that, I'm going to be brave. I donated to some organizations. I took some of the money that I was going to use for Bitcoin to do that. I'm not telling anybody to do that, but I'm telling people to maybe you should consider it, because people are hurting. And make sure, obviously, it's a legitimate one. I actually donated to people individually and also to some organizations. I was looking at some stories and stuff, and just I am an optimistic person, but when I know that my fellow brothers and sisters of God first, and even closer in our land to my American brothers and sisters are struggling, it just doesn't sit right with me, man. So that's why I've been kind of like this the last few videos, because I've been trying to hide it, but I just can't. And it's hard for me to talk about anything else. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And guys, listen, you got to pick your side. And I'm not talking about in a nasty, divisive, fighting, physical way. I'm not talking about that. Just in your mind, body, spirit. And if you're like me and your priorities are God, family, country, again, what side is better? You know, I see Liz Cheney out here campaigning with with Kamala Harris. I see Nikki Haley pretty much campaigning for Kamala Harris. Nikki Haley is probably the worst politician in America, worse than Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And she's a Republican, so it's not about Republican and Democrat. But despite that, guys, we still have this country, this beautiful United States of America. I absolutely love this right here. The Department of Veteran Affairs, United States of America, makes me so proud to not only be an American. I'm so proud to be an American, but I'm very proud to be a patriot. And I'm very proud and very humbled by the way I get treated as a patriot and a former person in the military and a veteran. And I'm so proud of my veterans and my Americans that actually wake up and stand up to this. But I need you guys to take it one step further. We love God, we love family, we love our country. And if you love those three things, you got to respect and know where your energy comes from. It comes from God first. The strength you have to work out here, the love you have and dedication you have for your family, and how you want to make your country better and you want to be a better person. And you need to respect that energy. And the only way you can do that is by working your ass off, loving God, getting your mind, body, and spirit right, and storing that energy the best way you can. And there's only one way to do it without losing, unfortunately, from the theft and the debasement of your life. Because that's what they do when they print money. They debase and steal from you and your family. There's only one way to do it, guys. And I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.